Hello, beautiful people. I hope that everyone is doing well. Welcome back to a new video. And I hope that those of you that are living on the east side of Europe, you are managing to deal with this heat because it's super hot here now and it's almost unbearable. I don't know what is happening on the west side of Europe, if you guys as well are dealing with these temperatures, but yeah, it's summer, so what can we expect? All right, so July 2022, this is something that I wanted to talk about in today's video. And then to do a bit of energy update about what is happening this month. Today is the 1st of July, a bit of forecast, also what are the planetary events this month, and then also how the astrological aspects are impacting the collective and then the individual as well. So yeah, these are the things that I want to talk about in today's video. So July is the peak of summer, and in the Greek mythology, for example, this was the time when the gods were feasting around the themes of fertility, the themes of abundance, of joy. So it's a time of joy, it's a time of abundance, but then fertility itself has a very big significance this month because it is related to Cancer. And Cancer is that archetype of the mom, of that motherly archetype, of that nurturing energy, of that fertile energy. I would say that I would associate that in tarot with the Empress energy, that fertility, that abundance. So that is that archetype of that divine feminine, that feminine energy. So July has a very important and strong theme of fertility and this archetypal energy as well, and everything that is related to that archetypal energy and our relationship with that feminine archetypal energy. In the first week of July, we have Mars in Aries that is squaring Pluto in Capricorn, and we have Pluto in Capricorn now, and we have been having it for a while, and Pluto actually will move into Aquarius in 2025, so the themes will be changing. But for now, Pluto in Capricorn means the transformation, the transformational period where all these old structures, old belief systems, old paradigms, and then physical structures as well are being demolished in a way. They are being teared down by Pluto because Pluto doesn't joke around. It comes and then it's just demolished everything and then it replaces it. So it's a real rebirth energy. Death and rebirth energy is that Phoenix rising from the ashes energy, and it's ruling also Scorpio, and Scorpio does that all the time, like it's reinventing itself and then it rises from the ashes, so that transformational energy. And Capricorn is representing that father archetype, that masculine figure, and is just at the opposite side of the zodiac, opposing Cancer. So these two energies, like Cancer representing the mother divine feminine energy, and then Capricorn representing the masculine divine masculine energy. So these two energies are complementary, and they are playing and will be playing a very important theme in the month of July, the balance between the masculine and the feminine, and these two archetypes, and then also what it means in a family structure to have these two archetype energies. And if any of these energies is out of balance in a family unit, what does that mean for the family? So there will be lots of wounds that will be coming up related to that in the month of July. So archetypal wounds, for example, wounds related to the womb and to giving birth and to abortion, and differences in opinions in that. And interestingly, this Mars in Aries, it's challenging the Pluto return of the US. And in the chart of the US, there is Mercury that is opposing Pluto at this time. And that is in direct opposition with this Mars in Aries energy. And that is what is causing, and that is what is bringing this difference in opinion and this extremist thinking when it comes to this law. The overturning of this Roe v. Wade law. And that is something that is triggering the masses, is triggering a mass awakening as well, but it's also triggering an acting out when it comes to people's pain. Because when the pain goes in a very imbalanced direction, in a very extreme direction, the only way for an individual to express themselves is by acting out, is by anger and aggression. So there's a lot of pain that is being activated, that is related to these archetypal masculine and feminine energies. And it is showing us where the imbalances are in our internal system, but not only in our internal system, but then external systems as well, external structures as well. So these things that haven't been dealt with in the past are coming up now for review, are coming up for a discussion now. And it's all about our relationship to these archetypal energies, as I said, that are being encoded in us. So this first week of July is about a deep psychological pressure in that sense, and also an identity crisis. And what is our relationship with our feminine energies and our society's relationship with the feminine energies? Because our society is going in a very, very masculine direction with the technology and everything. And if we are not capable of redefining our relationship with our femininity as a society, we are not capable of doing that, then by entering in the age of Aquarius, things can go in a very imbalanced masculine direction with the technology, where technology will be overruling humanity, and it will get us into that degenerate path, which I always talk about. So an imbalanced masculine energy means that the feminine aspects have not been integrated there. So we need to integrate the feminine aspects in our society. But for that, all these wounds related to fertility, for example, or giving birth or abortion need to come up for healing. And then an imbalanced feminine energy means the lack of integration of the masculine aspect. So that needs to be healing as well. So one cannot heal without the other. So the masculine and the feminine are healing simultaneously. So that is the first week of July, this deep psychological pressure that the society, and now it's happening in the US, is experiencing. But it extends globally as well, because these deep generational wounds, the generational trauma, need to be healed all over the world. Humanity is healing that. So the US is just a great example of that, because it's in the spotlight, because whatever is happening in the US will be happening in other parts of the world as well. Especially the Western society is deeply wounded in that sense. However, the Eastern countries as well need deep healing, especially when it comes to the patriarchal leadership and patriarchal society as well. So on the 5th of July, Mars will be leaving Aries. So it will be leaving that passionate fire energy, that aggressive energy of Aries. And Mars is Aries ruling planet as well, so loves to be there. It's in its element. So it will be moving into Taurus, and Taurus is an earth sign. So we will be experiencing a more slower pace and less dynamic, because Taurus is down to earth. So we will be experiencing a shift from this impatient energy to a more pragmatic, more rational approach. Taurus doesn't like to hurry, likes strategy, likes resolution, likes discipline, likes determination. So we will be experiencing those things. And we will be feeling like we have to take one step at a time. And we will be feeling this impulse to become more strategic when it comes to reaching our goals. However, everything has a downside. And the downside of this transit is that we can strengthen our inner resistance when it comes to outside forces. So we will have to be observing ourselves, not to become defensive by all means, or too determined by all costs, like being super ambitious and overly determined. So there can be this energy in the collective as well of being defensive, like defending what is ours by all costs. But that is not a place of empowerment, that is a place of disempowerment, because we feel like we have to fight the opposition. It is also vital in this period of time to explore our senses, to explore what is touching, what is to be touched, because Mars rules over the senses as well. So we have to savor all the pleasures at this time. On the 14th of July, we have a full moon in Capricorn. So as I said, the new moon was in Cancer, and then on the opposite side of the zodiac, we have the full moon in Capricorn. And Capricorn is that archetype of that masculine energy that can highlight our need to find a balance between our personal life and work life. So work-life balance, so to speak. So again, the integration of the feminine aspects here and not going too masculine. Because at this period of time, it can feel like our emotions are being threat to our safety. Like if we are expressing our emotions, then we might lose certain things, or we might lose our peace of mind if we let our emotions come to the surface. So we have to observe these things if we have this inner resistance to the feminine energies, because this full moon is about, as I said, finding the balance between personal and work life, which also has to do with masculine and feminine energies. There can be this conflict with masculine fatherly figures at this time, bosses, authorities, and that can manifest in the collective as well, on a collective level, like fighting against these authorities and masculine figures, and then institutions that are very masculine. But the other side of it, like the downside of it, can be that we are idolizing too much authority figures, like the over idolizing of certain public figures as well. And then what comes into my mind is, again, in the USA, the right wing, like the idolizing of the right wing and the leaders of the right wing. So we really have to ask ourselves if our loyalty and people's loyalty is something that is balanced there, because that loyalty can be disastrous if it's misdirected. So there's a danger here to pick the wrong leaders. There's a danger in over idolizing people that are not right for the position that they are having. And then on the July 18th, Venus is entering Cancer, and then again it will accentuate our values, and it will make us to ask ourselves if our values are sustainable, if our values are supporting life or not. And because Cancer is a very compassionate sign and a very sensitive sign, and then Venus is the planet of finances, relationships, love, this will accentuate also more compassion in the world, and then deeper values of understanding. So it will bring deeper values of understanding when it comes to other people and how we are handling certain situations in our society, how we are handling those situations where many of the societal issues are issues because our understanding about these things is deeply distorted. And that comes down to trauma again, and family issues and distortions in the family unit, and in the masculine and feminine energies as well within the family unit. So there will be this stronger sense of intimacy, of nurturing, of care, of love. So we will be feeling the need to be more nurtured by others and by ourselves as well. And then on a societal level, it will bring up deeper issues related to this imbalance, masculine and feminine, as I said, and distortions in these different aspects. And then also it will bring up certain questions related to our natural cycles. For example, natural feminine cycles as well. And maybe how those cycles will be handled in the workplace. Or do we need to go forward aggressively with these imbalanced masculine energies when we want to achieve our goals, or we can do it in a more nurturing way, in a more expansive way, a more feminine way? So yeah, these kind of questions. So there's a deep emotional healing that can happen in that period of time, and emotional healing that is being initiated by other people and our nurturing relationships as well, and then supported by our nurturing relationships. So there will be more emphasis put on home, on self-care as well. But the downside of Venus in Cancer is that it can come with mood swings, and it can feel the whole thing like an emotional roller coaster. So on the 28th of July, Jupiter goes retrograde in Aries, and that is a time of retrospection. It's a time of revisiting our psyche and consciousness. Whenever a planet goes retrograde, this is what it's asking us to do, to go inward. And Jupiter is the planet of opportunities and optimism and expansion. But when it goes retrograde, things can feel a little bit less optimistic. So if you feel like that in that period, don't give up, or don't think that this is not happening with a great purpose, because actually this retrograde can be a little bit of a battle. But what you will be battling is your inner self, is your past, and then also your haunted thoughts. but you will come out of this battle victoriously, like a warrior, because Aries is giving you that boost, is giving you that warrior spirit. But for that, you have to treat your psyche and you have to treat your inner self and the inner warrior with love, compassion, and acceptance. So this is what you need to do in this period of time to come out with victory. So we will be feeling this boost of energy because of Aries, that it will be directed to our own needs, to our own desires. And Jupiter is a big teacher. It will teach us about ourselves. So be your own guru, be your own mentor, and be your own teacher. That will be something that we will be focusing on, and really meeting our needs as well. And then realizing that, yes, we are in an uncharted territory here, but we will realize that we already have like some very innovative solutions. So the only thing that we have to do is to move forward and to move beyond our self-limitations. And this is what Aries will be helping us with. All right, and then the last thing that I wanted to talk about is Mercury squaring Neptune on the 2nd, so from tomorrow, 2nd of July. And that will put on the table some real challenges in our perceptions. So we are living very strong Neptunian times here. And Neptune is the planet of illusions. So it's like a double-edged sword. So on one side is disillusionment, the other side is illusions. One side of Neptune can help us to deepen our higher spiritual cognition and develop our psychic abilities and be able to go inward, to deepen our discernment as well, and then intuition as well. But it can deepen psychological states of confusion and irrational behaviors. It can trigger these irrational behaviors in the society as well. So Mercury squaring Neptune at this time can bring up certain things that can confuse us. But if things are confusing us, then we are able to see the deceit as well behind them. And if we are able to see the deceit, then we can change our perception about the world and about the reality that was sold for us. So we are being exposed to this deceit, to fraud that is happening in the world. So we can get disillusioned. So there is a collective perception that needs to be dissolved. And Neptune is a very fluid planet that is able to dissolve those perceptions. But with this square with Mercury, it will affect communication and probably misunderstandings as well when it comes to us and other people. So like some communication issues, miscommunication, or even illusions when it comes to our relationships with other people, like not seeing them for what they are. But the other side of that, because it's a double-edged sword, as I said, we might get disillusioned about certain people and our relationships. So Neptune is bringing this perceptual cloud that is quite hard to navigate at this time. And it can go both ways, as I said, and I think I talked about this in my previous videos already. But definitely certain perceptions need to be dissolved at this time, and we will see more of that in July. So the balance between masculine and feminine and the healing of these ancestral wounds related to the feminine energies will be very prominent, and masculine energies as well, because they are interconnected, they are complementary. And then also wounds related to our mothers and our fathers as well, and how these wounds are forming and how these wounds are shaping our family. Okay, so let's pull a few cards very quickly because this is a long video and I'm melting here. And let's see what we can expect in July 2022. So I will pull a few tarot cards. 1 second, let me just shuffle them. So what is that we can expect in the month of July, sorry. I'm still in June. Month of July 2022. Okay, so we have the Queen of Swords reversed. We have the Emperor upright. We have the Six of Pentacles upright. And then the Empress reversed. That is so interesting. All right, and then the Moon at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so we have both the Empress and the Emperor, but the Empress is the one that is reversed here. So definitely there is a deep healing of the feminine aspect here, that imbalanced feminine aspect. And then also that talks about an imbalanced masculine aspect. However, that strategic energy is quite prominent in the world. It's like a dominant energy, that strategy and the lack of creativity, the lack of empathy as well. And when it comes to our structures, so there is this strong energy in the society that is coming up for review, what I talked about. And we can see that with the abortion law. And the Empress is representing fertility, as I said. When it's reversed, talks about infertility here. Is representing a very polarizing and very aggressive view of how we are seeing femininity, our own feminine energies, and the relationship with our feminine aspects, as I said, that archetypal energy. And we also have the Six of Pentacles that came out upright, actually, and that is talking about an equal exchange of resources here. And there is an equal exchange that is needed here as well, a balance. This is talking about balance here, balancing out those two aspects. So this is what is needed here. I'm actually very surprised. These cards are flying. I'm very surprised that both the Empress and the Emperor came out as well, because they are representing the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And then the Queen of Swords is reversed as well. And when it's reversed, that is talking about a very rigid logic, like a coldness, like not being in touch with our emotions. It's a very logical approach, and the approach of a queen. So it's meaning that even the female leaders in our society are having this strong masculine energy, this unintegrated femininity. So the Empress energy is basically the energy of Cancer that is reversed here, that is needing a lot of healing, and that energy and our relationship with our moms and that archetypal figure. And the Emperor energy is that Capricorn energy that is overly dominant in the world right now. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Moon, which is talking about secrets and lies, which is talking about not necessarily illusions, but being exposed to these secrets, being exposed to deceit and mysteries and lots of things that are being hidden in our society. That deep, like Neptunian influence. And then look, the next card is the Seven of Cups, which is talking about illusions, too many choices here, not knowing what to choose, building castles in the air, being deluded about what is going on, not seeing things clearly. So yeah, I feel like this Empress energy can talk about either something related to infertility that is coming up, related to the injections, like fertility issues, or even more conflicts related to abortion and related to our rights when it comes to our body and the female body sovereignty. And not only the female body sovereignty, but body sovereignty in general. And not only when it comes to abortion and female rights and these aspects that need to be healed related to our sexuality, but then also things that we didn't manage to deal with related to the liquids, because we were coerced there. We were forced to say goodbye to our body sovereignty there as well. So that is coming back. So what we are doing with our body, which is our birthright, is coming back for review, because there was a huge imbalance that happened last year and the previous years because of the vaccines there, like the violation of human rights. And we have to ask ourselves, is this coercion okay? So we are experiencing a backlash now related to abortion and related to the vaccines as well. This is how I see it. So that's why I always say that we are not done with the vaccine thing. All right, guys, so thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here and watching. Thank you for listening. I hope it made sense. I hope it resonated. So this is what I see for the month of July. And thank you so much, everybody who is supporting me on my Patreon as well, and with my channel otherwise as well. Your contribution means a lot to me. So I'm super, super grateful for every single one of you. So take care, everybody. Have an amazing July. And I cannot wait to see you next time.